Hello, hello. I should be up and running. This is Suze Pratt, your holistic stylist. Um, Girl from Sophia's Emporium, coming to you again from my Zoom room. And I sure have missed being at my Zoom room. So today, just get us some music on with my iPhone. Whole other story. So today, I'm going to go back in time a minute and take you back to a show that was previously recorded at the end of May in 2016. Now, why this is important is because, of course, journalism is very dear to my heart, and the truth, of course, is always dear to my heart. I talk about it all the time. And it's amazing how my shows with Sophia's Emporium all came to be. You see, none of them were prepared in advance. I was dealing with the current issues in my life and building a show around it. So interestingly enough, when you see what I was talking about back then, and we add in what's going on today, it should make for an interesting show. Before I became a hairdresser, I had a lot of secretarial training, and being a harassed individual my entire life and sharing my story of targeting on every level, I tend to keep my papers and put things together. So whenever I tell you something, I bring evidence, guys. So my show is going to serve as some evidence today. And I'm going to share my screen. Love Zoom. So cool. Of course, when I was broadcasting through the Conscious Consumer Network, I paid over $100 a month, theoretically, to use things like Zoom. And it's such a blessing to know that for $129 a month, yes, you too can have a professional Zoom room all to yourself. And that is a pretty powerful thing. So we're going to go into this show.
I'm always the figure in someone else's dream.
And I'll talk to you afterwards. Thank you for viewing this YouTube archive of a Conscious Consumer Network broadcast. Please feel free to share it far and wide. Check out our weekly broadcast guide for weekly updates on scheduled broadcasts. Help keep us on the air by contributing to our network support fund. You can follow us on Facebook and Twitter, or get in touch by email. We thank you for supporting free and independent media. Let's get that silly.
Journalism is the practice of gathering, processing, and disseminating information, analysis, and opinion, which are transmitted through print, broadcast, the internet, or other media technologies. Journalism is one of the means human beings have developed to meet human needs. Journalism helps human beings understand the world. Human knowledge is pursued for the sake of understanding the laws of motion or change of nature, human beings, and society. Knowledge is the precondition for change. Journalism creates narratives that make disconnected events coherent and meaningful. Journalists present these narratives according to editorial standards, but the practice of journalism must also observe basic human values. The media have far-ranging powers and purposes. To serve as a forum for public debate and discussion, to educate the public on current issues, and to help shape and implement sound public policies, enable citizens to question policies and decisions, and to suggest others. The press is a critical factor in governance, and authoritarian regimes can serve as the regime's mouthpiece. In democratic societies, it can serve as a countervailing force to government power and a defender of citizen rights. The media have a democratizing function. By helping create a well-informed public, they can make democracy more meaningful through citizen engagement in public affairs. Freedom is an essential condition for the press to achieve its ends. Ethics is a fundamental component of press practice. It requires skills and knowledge for journalists to excel. Ethics grounds the skills on the knowledge required by practice. It is a fundamental component of press responsibility.
Welcome, friends. It's me, Suze Pratt, the holistic stylist. You know, the girl in Journalism Academy. So, I wanted to open up today with what I thought was a beautiful explanation of what we do here on Conscious Consumers Network. And I'm very excited because today is the iMovie Day that I told you about last week. So, years ago, I did little things, excuse me, like, variety shows, or we used to do a fashion show out at the park every September. And of course, I've been in videos. But making an iMovie is a whole different experience. And the biggest thing that I really enjoy about it is that it hit me to the whole world of how people can manipulate media. And so being that for 22 months that I did everything live and straight through and never had the ability to enhance a video, I'm really glad that I have that background of, moral and ethical truth in things, because when you see the movies I have for you today, for everybody that knows me, I'm pretty serious. But if you really know me, I'm kind of funny too. So you'll see that come through in the videos. And I always think that it's easier to deal with the hard truths when we put beauty behind it. And that can come through art, that can come through nature, music, the birds outside, whatever it may be. And one thing that we have a responsibility to as we pursue sharing our stories would be to focus in on what connects you to the group and to community. And then also to show those difficult things, because really, you won't hear me blame anybody on that. It's something that they call a false program. And you say, well, who started that false program? And then you got to talk about the archons or manipulation or other things. So in the past, when I've told my stories, the people that would prefer I be silenced, you see, would say that I was making it all about me. And surely I can understand where they would come from, considering they had never had the experiences that I have. But before I begin today, I want to bring in one of the great mentors as far as seeking wisdom brings, and his name is John Lash. He's very involved with the Sophia mysteries and very eloquent when he speaks about Gnosticism. And I know that a lot of people have misconceptions about many things, and Gnosticism is probably right at the top of the list. But I want to read you something. And I think that this makes sense. When you're surrounded, you either have to escape or do something about it. And we must be spiritual warriors. The archons seek to destroy humanity and take its many forms. Don't be naive. They can infect anyone just like a virus does. Now, these parasites feed on fear and emotion as they suck the 6 hard virtues out of what we call the human animal. And it demonstrates the idea that they would like to domesticate spiritual human beings and change them into pets. So that perfectly behaved person, I've never been. And as I go through all the different places where people usually get indoctrinated, I look back and I was involved in very few of them, thank goodness. So I guess that's how I'm able to understand these things and then come speak to you guys, my friends, and actually develop an understanding to what's going on and what we've all been through. My story just may be a little more colorful, and it's surely been in the public eye, even though no one knows me, like compared to big name people. So it's pretty interesting, but here's the deal on this, guys. They say that by nature, humans have no envy. It's not something that human beings, hello, it's me, are naturally as an organic life form. Now, it's really hard for people like that to see the insanity of the people that are infected by these parasites and viruses and programs. And it's okay, because deep down we're all affected to a certain extent. But there's a word called maladaptation. And what that word represents is when the human tilts and goes the other way. So we're all dealing with these things, but we're all here to help one another as well. So they say there are those who feel like the archons promised them an inheritance. And so I guess the best example is thinking about that Jehovah God promising the Jewish people that they'd have dominion. We're never here to put labels, but we do have to give a few examples. So I'll throw that one out there. But they promised them this worldly inheritance. And to humans, that equates to survival. Now, the thing is it wasn't theirs to give. Creator God and Mother Earth, Sophia, Gaia, that is a creation. And Sophia gave it, they say, to the humans. So these archons are kind of pissed off a little bit that we hold this high place in the Creator's eyes. And we've been suffering so long, guys. And these movies today will show you human suffering, but they'll also show you the great things we can aspire to be. Now, they say that what Sophia, or Mother Earth, needs from us as humans is to actually participate and use our voices. And through our actions, we're bringing about this healing. Now, today, they say is a power day. We're on the full moon, and it's what's called a rare blue moon. And one of my favorite pages on Facebook, it's a community page, and it's called Keeper of the Diamond Light Codes. So I'd like to read you what Meg Benedict shared with the group. And it says, open to the rare blue moon that starts in a couple of hours. We're stepping into a pocket of time that opens the gateway to the great central sun located at the galactic center. Also today, many global prayers for peace are happening all around the world in response to increasing hatred and violence against humanity and nature. We are joining other starseeds and light bearers in united prayers and intentions during this weekend's blue moon energies. This intense full moon is in fiery Sagittarius, conjunct Mars retrograde at the same degree. The galactic center is also located in Sagittarius. So today's full moon is linking us to all quantum opportunities that birth alive from the spinning black hole in the galactic core. Usually this happens only once a year at the June solstice, but this year we have 2 full moons occurring in Sagittarius. The first one happening today opens a month-long window to the great central sun located at the galactic center. It will remain open and build in intensity till the second full moon in Sagittarius occurs on June 20th. The dual full moons are assisting with the conclusion of the incessant battle with the dark fallen ones. In the coming week, there will be a transference of power from the whole division for a free world. Now, maybe you're asking, hey, Suze, what does that have to do with journalism? But see, to me, it has everything to do with journalism. Because we are speaking in all sorts of new ways now. As I take you into these views and reflections of the life that I bear witness to, I'm also going to be adding in what's called the laws of the universe, and there's 50 of them. So instead of me focusing on the same old sad story as I was going through these things, whatever they may be as you go through today's show, we're flipping it and going another way. Hope it's fun. Okay, now, my first movie of the day is called Fun at Farmer's Market. And so I hope you dig it. Let me know. We're ready, baby. And Joe decided to make this investment back at the end of January. It is pretty badass. We're going to be taking a ride without doors, and we don't even need to hold on for dear life. So here comes Joe, and we're getting ready to go to market. So I'm going to hop in the Jeep. Good morning, Joe. No, I'm outside. I'll see you in the Jeep. You know it's a Jeep thing. What's that?
The guy's paying about the same amount of money for that Lexus as we did. Stops it.
But it's a complex vehicle. You probably thought I was nuts with my foot hanging out. Welcome to Ferguson. I guess I could turn around and show Janice's place. Little Caesars. And of course, the big yellow house. St. Louis fish and chicken. There we go. Oh, good. It got stops. Right. Good. Of course. We're coming up on Church Street, which is where the Hair Emporium was located from 2010
Got one car
to
turning.
2015. And we were illegally and wrongfully evicted for not choosing to be extorted for more money than anyone else in the town. After we had our little explosion in police car fire on Church Street. Trying to show you the old hair shop. Here's our slumlord, landlord house. Well, I have to learn. All right. Here's market.
I'm not getting in trouble. I'm just saying.
I'm just trying to film the city. And if it doesn't work, we can always do it on foot. Just shows how close we are, right? I'm trying to show our town to the world.
No, I'm not saying that. I was trying to give you help.
Oh, wait, let's show everybody the new $1 million firehouse and police station. Or $5 billion. How much was it? It was a lot of money. A couple $1 million. First day of market, everybody's out. Of course, this is a shared city parking lot, which is nice. They do try to do good things for the people sometimes. It works out. You see, we have locals carrying plants. It's an awesome time.
People right out there.
Hey, Gail, is she gonna hit you?
What's up?
Right.
Turkey neck.
Oh,
I'm looking for Jeep parking.
where's that at?
I'll show you when I see it. On top of that cop car.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That guy's got a camera set up in the back to hold it. You see, he's got a crane on his backpack that comes over his head and holds that big heavy
We're
video
going to turn
camera.
this off while we find a parking space, guys. You can see it's crowded. Talk to you soon. I love you.
I love you too.
Do you have a message you'd like to give the world? You broadcast in 144 countries. Oh my goodness. What would you like to say to the world? Keep it beautiful like this flower and this girl. She said, what do you want to say to the world? God bless everyone. That's right. That's right. Keep it beautiful.
Yeah, we kind of got forced out. The city, stand down. Yeah, probably like an animal, but we got everything. Let's go. I was going to call her and see. How long do you have that number? 30 years.
So, it's me, Suze. I'm at the farmer's market, and I'm here with one of my lovely clients that I'm going to ask to introduce herself to the world today.
Hi, Suze. I'm Sharon O'Brien, Ferguson resident. It's good to be out today. It's a beautiful day. It's peaceful.
Yes.
People here have nothing much in mind except to enjoy the day, and that's what we want Ferguson to be.
Right. So, I'd like you to give us your wish for something that you could share with the world that would change their opinion about what they may or may not know.
That would change their what?
Opinion on what they may or may not know.
What would change their opinion?
Yeah, like what would you tell them to give them hope?
Oh, always listen to what you don't hear, particularly with regard to our town of Ferguson. Everybody knows what you did hear over and over again. You might be asking yourself, what about this? What about that? you know, always read between the lines, listen to what you don't hear, which is coming from you. This is something I experience a lot when people ask me why I live here.
Well, you travel the world too, don't you, Sharon?
I do travel. I fly for a living. I'm a flight attendant. I just fly domestically, but I'm in a lot of places.
Right.
And really, there isn't any place I long to be other than home. And but it's great to see how other people live and work.
That's what I love about the internet. Being
Yeah.
able to see the world's eyes
Yeah.
through my friends. So I think it's wonderful that you get to travel. And people like yourself and other people in this town have a strong intention to make the Ferguson effect one of peace, love, and light on the third cosmic ray. So,
Absolutely.
right. Well, I really appreciate you getting on camera this morning and spending time with the international community at Conscious Consumers Network.
My pleasure.
I
Thank
love
you.
you, Sharon.
Love you.
And your hair looks awesome.
Of course, my hair looks awesome.
That's right. See you later.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye. All right, here we go.
I can share
Good morning, guys.
Good morning. Hey, how's it going?
Good.
We're just here at the beautiful Ferguson Farmers Market, talking about Vine Vitality, giving out free samples to everybody. People like to grow naturally, safer,
Yep.
you know, and abundantly, by the way. So, hey, I hope I find you and give you your free sample. If not, look us up online.
Well, now, hang on just a second, because I'd like this international crew to know that we know you personally.
Oh,
You're
absolutely.
not just somebody coming up selling us something.
That's right. Yeah.
So tell me how we know each other, Scott.
I believe this lady has like styled everyone's hair that I know, my wife, my daughter, and that whole kit and caboodle
How long?
for like 700 years.
All right.
I believe that's how far we go back.
And then let me ask you this. Do you remember the old days when everybody made fun of me because I refused to get online? Well, it's been 22 months, Scott, and we've been picked up by the Conscious Consumers Network, which broadcasts live in
That's
144 countries.
That's awesome.
And I'm in Broadcast Journalism Academy.
Oh,
So,
Joe, how's that going?
I hope it's more exciting for her than it is for me. But I'm happy. You know?
Good.
I'm really excited.
Well, people that think like this need to get together, need
That's
to
right.
talk, need to share the thoughts and ideas, and know what's going on out there.
Because it's simple and it's the right thing to do.
Yeah, I mean, if you go to your local store, they're not going to help you out. They're going to point you to the same gunk that's always been sold.
Poison.
poison.
Yeah, I mean, look at, I grew up, and look at what happens when you eat that kind of stuff.
Now, really, you're looking pretty healthy these days.
Well, that's because I'm turning over a new leaf.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Now, before we close out, do you have a message for the world that you'd like to send around the globe today?
Around the globe.
Yes.
Peace and love.
Make a difference. You know, abide in the vine. You know, that's one of the greatest lessons of all.
Right. God is nature.
That's right.
I love a strong man that's in touch with his feminine side, guys.
Somebody just misspelled it.
I appreciate your time today very much.
Yeah, thanks.
Always good to see you.
Good to see you
Scott.
too.
Doesn't that look fun, riding in a Jeep with no doors and no windows, guys? Oh my goodness. I hope you enjoyed that first look at the town of Ferguson. And the biggest thing that I like about Ferguson is there's some really organic, cool people here. And you notice that they don't fit into any particular category. And it shows you how diverse community can be and be a positive thing. So I've got my boys up now talking really loud while we're in the middle of the show. You'll have to excuse them. I don't think they're used to my new time slot. Now, I don't know if you noticed in that little video clip, but there were some eyes tripping out that I was filming. And of course, these would be the eyes of someone that would prefer I be silent. So, excuse me just a second. I am doing my show. Do you two hear me? I'm live. Man, you gotta love guys. Sometimes they're just like bulls in a china shop. It's a full moon, right? But back to what I was saying about these 50 universal laws, okay? Whether or not somebody approves of me interviewing people that want to be interviewed and that know me and that are friends. See, it's just a false program. So sometimes I do have to call that out. And what I really like about iMovie is that there's some cool sound effects that I use to call things out. I mean, really? As far as I'm concerned, I just think I'm showing a true representation of things that are going on. Now, here's the question that I wanted to ask that went along with this video. And it's, how does creative control evolve into creating reality, right? And so that's why I say as a journalist, you try to put together this story and represent it the way that you experience life to be. And so since I've experienced it, and I have faith, you guys know that. I mean, if you listen to any of my shows, right? And so I guess that's why I've always been an action kind of chick. It's that simple equation. So experience plus faith equals action. We have these 50 laws of the universe, like I keep talking about. So these are the numbers I tagged to represent this. Number 8 is free will. And of course, that's a predestined situation that does have influence via astrology. And I surely believe that and have spoken about it many times. Okay, life awareness is less affected by worldly events because you're allowing the negativity to flow through you. That's definitely my experience. And I remember when it didn't flow through me, it blew me up on the inside. So I know this on a physical, mental, spiritual aspect. And the third would be with free will, you respond with integrity. And so, say for example, instead of me crying about somebody targeting me and ruining my business, see, that's pathetic. I rose above it, and I've always been more than a simple hairdresser with a 4-wall business that I paid exuberant rent to. I branched out and have a new career as a journalist. And we have the Hair Emporium coming up in an online format. So I thought number 8 represented that video very well. There were a few others that I feel the need to be mentioned. And that would be the law of fellowship, the law of association, which is a commonality. It does more than influence, it creates. We have experience, which of course is in the formula, but here it is as a law of the universe. We have the law of new beginnings, which are major life turning points. And I think my first time movie is a big, major life event. So, you know, I'm a simple girl. I'm just celebrating it, and I'm so grateful that Mel and Biggie has given me this experience, and that I'm going through journalism academy. I think it's really cool. Now I'm talking about it all the time, right? Okay. Number 45, belief. 46, the law of dharmic direction, duty to self and society. Now, dharma, of course, is what we give back. And last but not least, and we've talked about this word, the misunderstood word, is the law of ritual, which means that you're acting with intent. You know, they kind of twisted it and put rituals and idols and all those things together, but it's really about intent and what we manifest. All right. Now, I have another little short video that I'd like to share from CMFR Philippines called Freedom of Expression. And I just thought this hit the nail on the head.
Freedom of expression is a basic human right. Anyone, regardless of race, color, sex, or religion, can share their ideas and opinions. Ideas can be expressed through verbal or nonverbal exchange, on a personal level, or through the media. Why is it important? Freedom of expression is important because it facilitates the fulfillment of other human rights. It enables speech about rights and freedom. It strengthens debate and discussion that holds public officials accountable. It empowers citizens to participate in their own governance. A well-functioning free press reports on government transactions and policies and helps citizens make informed decisions. The Philippine Constitution guarantees both freedom of expression and freedom of information. International treaties and governance also support FOE. But like all human rights, FOE is not absolute. It is restricted only to protect the reputation of individuals, to protect national security, and to uphold public order.
All right, guys. I'm going to give you a disclaimer before the next video, okay? And so I want y'all to understand that the views and opinions that you will see in the video, of course, are the sole opinion of me, Suze Pratt. And, you know, what you're going to see has caused me a great deal of sadness, although it was really one of the happiest events of my life. And when I say that, here's what I'm talking about. And because the fear is so intense across the planet these days, I mean, if you speak out on anything, surely it's going to destroy someone's life. Now, none of us have that kind of power, but what happens is when people get wrapped up in the false program, the first thing that they forget is the condition of the world as we're experiencing it right now. So I'll ask you guys before you see the video. Now I know everybody's been to a place of business or say a restaurant or a store. And every place that I've ever been, there's always more than one way in or out. So if we go back to this idea of being trapped, do we freeze or do we react? And of course, some people will fare well in either of those situations, and others wouldn't. But we can never say which way is the all the time right way to respond to a crisis. But with the mega amounts of crises that are happening everywhere these days, it's so much easier for people to retreat into maybe, I guess, a game or a TV program or some kind of entertainment. And maybe that's where we've been given the idea that everything positive would be what was promoted, and we wouldn't speak anything about the negative things. But back to John Lash and many other incredible people, they all know the truth, is that if we're not able to face our fears or to face the darkness or to face the truth, then how will we ever know the peace of mind that comes with knowing yourself and fulfilling your obligation and your contracts to yourself or the world or your creator? These are the things that I think about a lot. So if I do a review of my life, and you guys know that I'm an expert in charting the human life, so I go through these things. And from the earliest days, I always spoke out. And every time somebody tried to cram me in the box, I pushed my way back out. Anytime that someone wanted me to do something a certain way, and it wasn't the way that resonated in me, you know what I did? I just pushed harder. And so when it comes to me journaling my life experience, I'm going to do it the way I want, just like anybody else would do it their own way. So keep that in mind when you see what's coming, because it's so sad to lose someone that you consider to be a friend over control. This is called Ferguson's Hidden Treasure. Go ahead.
This is Pratt, the CCM, Conscious Consumer Network News. Here we have Denise and Eddie going into the parking lot, getting ready for their grand reopening today. It's a beautiful I want you guys to get one more look at this brand new building that was built with no back door. These are one of the things in today's world. I'll tell you this, friends, in 30 years of doing business as the Hair Emporium in 3 different townships in St. Louis, Missouri, never, ever have I seen a building built without a back door. So these are Janice's 2 Eddies, which we always talk about on the show. So we're getting ready for the grand reopening ribbon cutting ceremony. I'll see you shortly. How do you feel, Denise?
Oh, I feel great. I'm so excited.
You look
I never
beautiful.
could imagine I would be reopening my business 2 days before my birthday.
I know. God bless you.
It's been a
Happy
long
birthday.
journey.
Well, and happy Mother's Day. We've got some here. Yes. So the store looks beautiful. You made your cake. Absolutely gorgeous. Beautiful. I don't know how to do what What's your name? May 6th, live, Ferguson, Missouri. Janice's grand opening. Filming for 144 countries. Mainstream.
This is another song about God, obviously. All right. Jesus be the center of my life. Jesus be the center of my life. From beginning till the end, it will always be, it's always been you, Jesus. Oh yes, Jesus. Say Jesus be the center of our life. Oh Lord, be the center. Jesus be the center of our life. From beginning till the end, it will always be, it's always been you, Jesus. Oh Jesus, Jesus.
Denise will give you a countdown. Count on 3, 2.
The scissors ready. It's just like putting the wedding cake.
I gave this whole speech about the scissors, now I have to worry.
All right.
On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Well.
I'll take it. Nobody gets hurt.
No running with scissors. Always remember the rule.
Good morning.
We're here to look at an incredible body of work this young man has been working on in the Boy Scouts. So, go ahead. Nice. Nice. So do you learn how to like explore the wilderness and be out in nature and learn to do things to You want to introduce your mom to the world? Tell them how much you love her. 100. I did 144 countries. Beautiful, beautiful thing. Do you have a message for the world? What would you like them to hear? Love, peace. All your dreams. That's right. All right. Never give up. Never give up. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. We're back inside at Hidden Treasures. I'm going to give you a quick little tour of this beautiful store. You can see she has a fine assortment of jewelry. Of course, some beautiful things in the cases. Good morning, Linda.
Hey, Susan.
Just beautiful. You can see here that she carries a lot of vintage and also collector stones. We're looking at some lovely jade right here in the green section. Magnificent lapis and turquoise. Here's some of the local other stuff here. This is our new councilwoman. Beautiful furniture. Greeting cards. And they're remodeling. They picked up some square footage, so you can see now. There's a beautiful area for the ladies to sit and mingle. Some jewelry in the background. Artwork. Beautiful antique furniture. We're going to try to maneuver around here. People are browsing and shopping. Always there has to be some kind of background noise. These adventures here in Ferguson. Don't let the sirens fool you. It's a very friendly community. You never know what you'll find at Hidden Treasures. It is definitely a eclectic variety of things Denise collects all over the four-state region and beyond. It always makes you wonder what you're going to buy when you come in. Beautiful, beautiful girls. I think I might be looking right at that. Now here's what I'm here for today. I have been waiting 3 years for my new purse, girl.
I know.
You can see I carry one of Janice's bags.
Oh, I see.
Oh, yes.
Right. I see two of them that I like.
Show me what you like.
No, but you like
Oh,
it.
come on, no, go ahead. Let's go for
I like
international.
this one. And this black.
Beautiful. Have you got to check them out yet?
No, not yet.
Oh, this is exciting. I'll have to look at purses.
I only brought $100, but
You brought 135, so I hear you.
okay, so I can add $35, right?
Absolutely. And you know that Janice does have a layaway.
I know.
You can shop here till you drop.
She first opened, I got a chocolate meeting
Uh-huh.
from her when she first opened.
Yes.
Before all the craziness. I got a chocolate meeting. Beautiful.
Wow.
And didn't know
Yes.
that it was a make until I took it to have it clean. Oh, yeah.
Oh, girl.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Well, I'll tell you a story about a maid. So, my little daughter, Lauren, is a total diva. And she wanted a maid.
Oh, really?
Yes. And so Mama came in and bought her one. And
Into here?
oh, yes, ma'am. Oh, yes. Got it under $100. Beautiful. And do you know that baby doll still doesn't know what she's got?
You're kidding.
No, ma'am.
Well, I knew what mine was because I went to get it cleaned and it was like $175.
Oh, wow. To have it to purchase or to have to make?
Purchase it. And when I took it to have it cleaned, we got it. And it evidently was an estate sale from some actress that
Yes.
used to come to St. Louis or whatever.
Yes.
And I went to look and see how much a chocolate made cost. $16,000.
Bless your heart. You got a great
I
heart.
did. Yeah. So, and we became friends because of that. That was before the meet because I came in with the shoes. She had no size 6 shoes. So now
I hear
I'm a
you.
forever customer. Wherever she goes, I'm going.
Now, are you local?
Yes.
And what is your name?
My name's Monica Adams and I live in Berkeley.
Oh, Monica, so nice to meet you. My name's Suze.
Nice to meet you, Suze.
And I live in the big yellow house right behind here.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So we live close and didn't even know it.
Oh, and
It's
it's even
so good to be here.
you could come visit our garden. And oh, it's magnificent, historic home.
Okay.
And now I broadcast live on Conscious Consumers Network, which is in 144 countries.
Wow.
Yes,
Good for
yes.
you.
So I really appreciate you speaking to me today. And us being friends. All right, thank you.
So you didn't really have to like lay anybody off or anything. You just sort of. Okay. Anything else we haven't hit on that you want to talk about?
Well, I just want everyone to please come support me. I've given my all, and I've tried to leave a legacy, and I want a legacy something for our community to be proud of. As they were first, I have customers who supported me, and I hope that everyone, people who want my customers, I take new customers also. I appreciate you if you can come back and support us and shop with us.
Did you go to the pizza when it opened? Did you go to that ceremony?
In the community, I was a great time. I didn't know about it for some reason. When I heard about it,
So this is the same spot where your business was originally, right? Okay. And do you know, was it hard to see the little Caesars?
Was it hard to see the Little Caesars open before you did? Shame on her.
so it was just a matter of process. With an antique store, and my piece of chair, and then I had to get major selling shoes. So they kind of had to, 2 months with that. It took a long time to get each one business.
Is the store pretty much how you want it, or are there still things that need to be done?
Well, I have a lot of storage, and I love what I have now, but I could always use a bigger store. I end up getting so much. God bless me with so much that I have more to share with my customers.
Talk to me about not only the loss of your store, but what was it like seeing businesses and part of your community destroyed by other people.
Or how to rile somebody up.
And the pride that is put into a business. So it's very painful, very hurtful, and it's just very painful and hurtful. You know, I wouldn't wish that upon anybody. I don't know why God chose me to go through it and other business owners that went through it, but it's very painful, it's very hurtful, and I don't think that's a solution. I pray that we never have it again, that people destroy innocent business owners who are there to provide a service to them and their community. See, it's a big inconvenience to have to leave out of your community and go other places and shop, and you no longer have the conveniences that's provided to you and your community.
Is there anything you would like to say or any message you would want to send to the people who, you know, may have done this
Who
to your
may have
building and
done it.
business?
Right, rile it up more.
Well, I think the message is already said. God is the judge of it. I moved forward. It hurt me. It hurt my family. It hurt the other business owners that it happened to. Some things money can't replace, and I have not been restored, not for the things that I did lose materialistically, but
Oh, yes, you
I know
have.
they were losing me. I got it, but it still hurts what work that I put in it. Everybody knew me when I had my business. They knew how hard and dedicated I was to my business and how hard my family was and how we took pride in our business.
Did
Can you think of anything else we should ask?
thank you.
Right.
Moving forward, make me feel like I wasn't standing still because it's probably been 19 months. Every time I only spent since it's happened, I would go find something for my business. Every day I would do something for my business. That was just part of me. It says, "Let me turn it."
Right, still angry too.
Yeah. There's something I did. That's what I had to do. I did believe that was
Hopefully your healing is going better now.
That's awesome. Thank you. I just wanted you to model the chair, right? How you guys doing today? Girl, you got a message for the world today. We're broadcasting in 144 countries on a station online called Conscious Consumers Network. So we're bringing a message of hope to the world via Ferguson, Missouri. Yep. Isn't it nice here? Now, have you lived in North County most of your life, sir?
Not most of my life, but part of my life I have. It's a great community.
Where do you hail from?
I hail from really St. Louis, the inner city on the west side of St. Louis.
Right on. I've lived in St. Louis my entire life, so I know the area very well. I grew up in Moline Acres, and my dad grew up in Walnut Park.
Okay.
Right, they went to O'Fallon High School, so yeah, I'm familiar with the St. Louis area, but I do really appreciate you guys allowing me to throw you on camera like that. I didn't mean to really surprise you, but I'm in Journalism Academy, and so they have this thing called iMovie, and I was here for Janice's grand reopening, and of course I've known her personally for years now. Yeah, I love shopping here, but anyhow, we're gonna put all this together and make some kind of cool movie and show people what Ferguson is like in the springtime and let everybody know that that's right.
It's a wonderful city. It is.
Bless your heart. Bless your heart. Thanks, guys. Have a great day. Oh, you're so welcome. So tell me, as the day's going by, is it everything you imagined and more?
Well, I gotta get up.
It's been a long time coming.
Oh, and I think you had a great turnout this
Thank
morning.
you. Yes, I did. Thanks for everybody that came out and support me. Thanks to you.
Oh, well, you know, you're family to us, girl.
That's right. I had to bring my client over to shop because she lives here in town, Karen. So, right. I didn't get to introduce you earlier. Do you have a message that you would bring to the world today?
No.
Oh, come on.
I'm trying to pay my friend here.
But look at, here's the message, because we talked earlier. There is a worldwide awakening of consciousness on this planet, and we are here to alleviate the suffering of mankind. So that was the message that we talked about earlier today. Remember? That's right. See, I was a cheerleader in high school, so I think I still cheerlead people now and tell them everything's going to be okay. Now, Marion, I heard a story earlier today that there was a woman that donated that collection. Now, there is also things in that cabinet that were not in that collection, but you can get the idea of the magnitude of that love donation. Her display cases were also donated to her. This is just a beautiful sitting area. I love this. Yeah, because Eddie, look at how many people want to come in that you had locked out. I mean, how many do you think there were? Like 200 or something? I was just kidding. It was not 200 people that Janice's husband locked out, guys. We hipped him to the thing that he forgot to unlock the door. A lot more furniture, isn't there, Marion? Oh, hey, you want to see something I want? Let me show you this. Check this out right here.
It looks like a track that's really good height at the fireplace.
Yes, ma'am. It's $100. I know. I think I should have that. We're gonna get a look here again at the counters. It was a little busy in here earlier. I wasn't able to show you guys everything without getting in the way of the clientele, which of course, that would be a total fashion faux pas. Look at this, guys. Beautiful. I'm learning how to work this camera, aren't I, friends? I was unable to work with it before because my computer didn't have enough power until I got my new Apple. So I just can't stay away from hidden treasures. I'm back with Eddie, one of the owners. And Eddie, have you ever met my dear friend and client, Marion Link? So guys, I'm not trying to start nothing, but compare and contrast the questions that your buddy Suze asks people as a journalist and what you saw in that video. And believe it or not, I mean, that woman actually went to all the businesses in Ferguson that morning and interviewed people. Now, in my opinion, it was so hard for me to watch my friend Janice be saddened with the questions during that interview.
And that's why I did keep that. And that's part of my creative control, which I did make a disclaimer on. But in order to change things for the better, we have to show the entire truth. People are strong enough at this point. I mean, I know it's difficult in whatever location we're in around the planet. I know there's hard things going on with everybody. But as survivors, we are strong enough. We've been through harder things. So I'd like to bring up a few more of these universal laws now. And the fifth one is called soul evolution. So we rise above fear-based emotions and we raise our vibration. And surely we know that that is the confirmation of spirit. We see it all the time. Number 16 is reflection. And of course, earlier on, I was thinking about how profound it is that, of course, back in the day, we all had our stories of our heritage. And of course, they were oral traditions that were passed down. And these days, with the whitewashing of history, so few people actually know where they came from. And of course, that leads to complete fear and chaos, especially when we have this collective memory of being refugees and driven away from our home. So my home has always been North County. And I know that my kin were refugees and, made their way, and they found their way on the river here. But I really do feel like it's been a blessing to be in one place and to be the witness to the story. So, see what else we got. Oh, number 19, abundance. Make paradise where we are and accept our birthright. Number 24, commitment, decision, and clear intent. If you're in harmony with the universe, you have no indecisiveness. Number 43, self-truth. And that's what we're here for, to know ourselves, to love our neighbors as ourselves, and to first do no harm. Now, bringing truth does not do people harm. What does them harm is the misconceptions and the false programs and the forced manipulation. And we're going to see that as this moves on, surely. Number 49, release without regrets and resentments. Now, the one thing about my dear sweet friend Janice is she's still angry for what happened to me, losing my business in her mind. And I keep trying to tell her, I didn't lose it. It's evolving and it's changing and it's growing. And it never stayed the same the whole time. But I guess if you're looking at over 30 years of small business expertise, and then you compare it to what she's experienced, she'd only been a business owner a couple of years when this all happened to her. So the thing I do know is in all those years, surely there were people that would have been overjoyed to see my business topple to the ground. But in the end, they don't even know why they feel that way. You see, here again, the program is upon them. They've lost things. They're sad. They're fearful. So surely, if they think it, it must be what I'm thinking. And these are one of the most serious offenses in Sue's world, because I promise I'll tell you what I think. And if I tell you what I think and you still don't hear me, I don't know. I mean, how much more obvious can I get, right? Okay. So there's a lot of things that I've said down through my life that brought me to the place I am. And what you're going to see next, I think, is the perfect example. Okay, so let's back up a minute. You know, there's a saying that we've talked about that would be, don't shit in your own backyard. Well, you know, to me, there's no way that I'm doing that. It's more like I'm sharing my world, and even though there might be a little turd here and there, see, they go right into a bag and we just file them and delete them or put them in the trash. But I think in the end, really, that the more that we're all able in our own way to speak out about injustices, surely more and more healing is going to come through. Now, early on, when the whole internet thing started for me, it was right at the same time that Mike Brown was slain here in this town. And there's a story that you'll hear in the video as we watch it. But I find it amazing that I could tell this story 1,000 times and people always miss the punchline. So let me share it with you before you see it. The day afterwards, on the news, there was a report from an anonymous older gentleman who said that what Mike Brown said before he walked down the street and got filled full of lead, he gave a prophecy. He said, look, old man, don't be angry when things come to pass. The devil will be tempting you. But I tell you this, Jesus will be walking right by your side. So, funny how on the news, they only said that once. And nobody ever heard that again. So from my state of mind, and especially being new on the internet, I mean, I thought that was a very important thing to get out because everybody was wanting to kill each other and fight over what happened. And the most obvious thing that the people were fighting over was they couldn't believe that the guy that did it got away with it. That's all they've ever been upset about. And that's all that the world is upset about. And I don't care what kind of package it comes in. Think about this. How many times down through history have people been struck down, slain, murdered, persecuted, imprisoned, tortured, and impaled? The 10 minutes after they do it, they go, oops, my bad. Gotta work it all out. See, we're not supposed to be killing each other. That's, here again, like some really nasty parasite that just drives people to a frenzy. And the reason why is because they're scared of losing their own lives. But even the most in-the-box dogmatic person allegedly believes that they already know that this is transitory and that there's a real life beyond this. So, what are we really trying to hold on to when we talk about the murder of innocence? Is it a collective memory that we've all had ingrained into our unconscious? I mean, there's so many things that are coming to the forefront now that we're all having to see, whether it's YouTube, whether it's our friends telling us stories, whether we look out the window and see it, guys. All I know is that in the end, I knew that I'd be targeted and blacklisted for even making a peep about it. But did that really bother me, considering that my whole life people have told me not to speak the important stories here again? I think not. So I look back at when I was this kid's age, and you know, my 4 favorite subjects in high school were art, speech, sociology, and business organization. Now, I'm not sure what Mike was into, but you know, you wouldn't necessarily think that, say, a hairdresser would use those things. But boy, I'll tell you what, it's pretty obvious that a journalist does to me. So I'm right back to doing the things I love. And I'm going to love sharing this video with you. It's called Love Letters to Ferguson, Mike Brown and Me. Go ahead, baby. Hi, friends. Me, Suze Pratt, the holistic stylist, coming to you from the prophetic destiny of Missouri with a love letter to Ferguson. Did you ever write a love letter to somebody, pouring your heart out, leaving a trail for all to see? Surely we all hope for the best, yet the fear of the answer back, rejection, ridicule, or even worse, public disclosure and humiliation. For me, this is a love letter to all my friends, including those I've never met. It's also for those who call me their enemy. It was a year ago when, within 24 hours of each other, Mike Brown was slain, and I came online for the first time in my life. The rest is history. From this time forward, a great separation occurred, literally on every level. People were asked to choose between 2 sides. I didn't do that. So, in celebration of Mike Brown's life, I want to share the story that I heard on Channel 2 News the evening of Sunday, August the 10th. Oh, it's hard to tell, guys. All right. So, there was an old man that lived in the apartment complex where Mike Brown's grandmother lived. And, you know, they knew each other over the years and would say hello. So, on the day of the incident, Mike had been talking to this old man, and the old man wasn't really quite sure what he was talking about, but Mike was saying to him, don't be angry about the things that are going to come to pass that happen. You're going to be tempted to be angry. The devil is going to be tempting you. But I tell you, don't be angry. Be and be not afraid, because Jesus will be walking with you. So, after Mike Brown said those words, the story is that he walked down the street and the old man wasn't watching. He looked down. So when the shots rang out, the old man didn't see what happened. And he was anonymous on the news that evening because he was terrified of what would happen to him for speaking up. So, this story was aired only one time. But what I want to do is work with you guys on a way that I problem solve. And it's the thesis, antithesis, synthesis scenario. So you know you have two sides. Each one has a different strong viewpoint that is true for them. And then there's a blending because we all live in a society where we have to be together. So let's go over this. The thesis would be the faith in that elder's testament, the prophetic message by Mike Brown is a probability. The antithesis would be, well, that he allegedly stole some things and maybe he was on marijuana, maybe he was high. The synthesis is absolute and utter chaos and the destroying of families, communities, friends, police, servants, and city workers. And none of us want that. We love everyone. So that's our first look at something in a calm and intelligent manner. Okay. Now, justifiably so, our community of choice has felt every negative emotion about being under the white hot spotlight, you know, of the media and the world and the judgment. We're being portrayed as dangerous and undesirable, even a war zone. So, let's look and see what we have here. We have the thesis, which is fear, anger, and guilt is pervading. And there is going to be hell to pay. The antithesis of this goes with the Wingmaker's philosophy of the 6 heart virtues, which are appreciation, compassion, understanding, forgiveness, humility, and valor. And the synthesis of these two things is called the biology of belief, and that is Bruce Lipton's groundbreaking work in the scientific proof that we do create our reality by what we believe. So the question is, the individual, and what's called the mass mind, or even scarier than that, the overlord. How about that for a story? Okay. Yet, if it's not black and white, in my experience, it is not black and white in my experience. I'll say it again. What if you did the research, for example, and awoke to the fact that there is an invisible weaponry, a technology that was first used on the military that proved helpful in agitating their state of mind? It manipulated them. It made them not feel so guilty about the disposal of civilians, women, and children when they were at war. So, pointed into a crowd atop an armored vehicle. This technology is similar to how a microwave works. And via the satellite on the vehicle, that energy heats everybody up, just like you heat up your cup of soup in the nuclear oven in the microwave in the kitchen. I don't use a microwave my own self, but that's cool. So if you understand what happens in a microwave could happen to the water in a human's body. I mean, can you see how good, peaceful people on both sides the fence could turn into lunatics, acting before they even think? Now, I've lived in North County in St. Louis, Missouri, my entire life, and I'm 51 years old. And I guess it was about a decade ago, I came across some reading that says that St. Louis sits on a ray of unconditional love called the third cosmic ray. We're also aware by now that there are sacred sites all across the earth, key ley lines, vortexes, pyramids, and mounds are the most sought after, fought over places for good reason. Check this out. Okay, so in this thesis, we have revival in 4 Missouri cities: St. Louis, Kansas City, Jefferson City, Carthage. And what this bottom reference is to Elizabeth Clare Prophet's book, Saint Germain on Alchemy, and that's what talks about the third cosmic ray, St. Louis, Missouri, unconditional love. Now, the antithesis of that is what a lot of people worry about when they don't worry about what's going on in their town, and that's global depression, false flag operations, Monsanto, forced vaccinations, a comet or a meteorite, and Jade Helm. The synthesis would be as above, so below. Individual reality manifesting. Bless our hearts, forgive us, we don't know what we're doing. But now we do, so we can fix this problem. Dark forces work in the shadows to oppress and control. These forces can be simple physical things of this world. They can also be astral things. You know, they behave like parasites, feeding until there's nothing left, which is really disgusting. Like I said, I've lived here all my life. So 30 years ago, my grandmother and I lived in the duplexes near the apartment complex where Mike Brown took his last breath. Back then, I had just begun my professional career as a hairdresser. 8 years ago, we relocated to Ferguson to be free and start a new chapter in our never-ending story. It was not by chance that we were cast into a role where we would disclose these facts just by existing here and wanting to participate in volunteerism, in business and commerce, and in friendship and community. Surely I really don't expect the 1% who blacklisted me to recant their judgment or their sentence for our non-compliance, which we're not supposed to talk. I've been told that my whole life. Don't talk or I'm going to get in trouble. I just ask that whomever it is doesn't want to come kill this messenger when it comes to my witness, because we are all free to pursue life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So let's look at this piece of paper. I made these early in the morning. We have our thesis, which would be isolate, exterminate, silence, and ignore. Put a fence around Ferguson is what somebody said on Facebook the other day. But for real, it's almost looks like it's a closed community within an award-winning playful city kind of place. So there is two strong opposing forces. And we'll be going into that in detail as we go along. The antithesis would be, like I said, the pursuit of life, liberty, and happiness. What's that say? 12. Not 12. Is attainable in America's most dangerous city. If you can have peace here, you can have it across the globe, right? That's my antithesis. And then the synthesis would be that the issue proved to not be black and white from our experience. And where else but in St. Louis, in your own hometown, could you have a white girl blacklisted by a few white folks and a token? Nationwide and globally, August 2nd was deemed the National Day of Forgiveness by online social media. This was confirmed by a blue full moon on the 31st of July, and you know how much excitement there was on Facebook and YouTube about that. So I know you guys are hip to what I'm saying. Wise ones say that humanity is experiencing the final release of letting go what no longer serves us. Clarity is in order to bring peace, harmony, and balance. If the choice is fear, those who choose fear participate in the collective, dramatic response to false impressions. When we choose love and the 6 heart virtues, we exist as the Creator's clarity upon the earth. I heard that just last night, and I thought that was the most beautiful statement. So, in closing, I want to show you something. Last one. Now, this is from the book Dynamic Freedoms. I am only one, but still I am one. I cannot do everything, but still I can do something. And because I cannot do everything, I will not refuse to do something that I can do. And that was written by Edward Everett Hale. He was a mid-20th century chaplain in the United States Senate. So, tune into my channel, Sue's Pratt, on YouTube for more of my love letters to Ferguson, because there's going to be a whole bunch. And I thank you for your support and your time and your heart brain. I'd like to say namaste. And with that, Peace, love, and light from the big yellow house on the 3rd Cosmic Ray, St. Louis, Missouri. Thank you. So, let me tell you a story, friends, because this is current time news. Tomorrow, I'm going to be interviewed by someone from St. Louis University. That's a major college here in St. Louis. And her name is Reagan, and she's coming to ask me about how the Ferguson effect and what happened with Mike Brown, how that affected my business. If you know anything about me, I definitely was targeted directly from the go when I came to this town. And so a lot of times when people are targeted, what happens is they become quiet and submissive, and the bullying continues, as we know. But I have a different story to tell, surely. Now, when she comes, just so you all know, I am going to only consent to this as long as I get to turn my camera on and be a journalist. So it should be very interesting. But, you know, I didn't lose anything, first off. All I did was gain. And as far as it being connected with this tragedy, it has nothing to do with that. Now, if that's the party line that people use, and here I stand out and tell another story that if it comes out, I mean, surely it doesn't look good on a town when people that are the same color as I am targeted me, and they're all crying about race and prejudice. And that's why you got to understand, it is not about color. It is about destroying the origins of people in general, and then shoving them all together and putting them in a crisis. So people said I should have ran from North County years ago, but you see, that was never the answer. And so over the years, as my clients moved away, they still drove to wherever I was. Now, when I brought my people down here, they were terrified, let's be honest. Anybody that knows this story or was involved in it. But I displayed the whole way through the honest, true story that was going on. And it was so hard for people to believe. Why would anybody try to keep somebody out of a town? Well, here again, Lord forgive them, for they know not what they do. There's a program. Remember the virus, the parasite, the archons, all of those things. And they sense when someone is coming to call them out. So, of course, they influence the people that are put in the positions of power, you see. Now, at this current time, there's 5 people that were totally involved in my ruin, if you want to see it that way, that no longer work for the city. So you would surely assume that my problems would be done and that we'd all be hugging and making up and everybody would be fine. But see, that'd be like naive and not really understand the story. This is a force that is worldwide, you see. So they say that here in the United States, 1/3 of the population is without work. Now, really, if people still had the ingenuity that our forefathers had, they'd always starting up their own small businesses. And surely we have a great opportunity for business online now. And so that is where I stand and bring forth my platform. Because sometimes I think, okay, maybe there's somewhere else I could go. But there's not. I make my stand here. Now, let's go back and recap what's happened since I came to this town for anybody that might not have heard the story yet. In 2007, we came here. We had faith. We chose a place to live. We were assured the building would come up to code because that's what they were working on. But that was a deception that bought them time. And like we'll talk about in the interview tomorrow, there's a building that is inhabited by all sorts of people now that theoretically has now passed inspection. But you see, in this town, just like you don't have to have an emergency exit, you don't have to do an interior inspection. So how did this mysteriously get fixed when it's so much money because it's full of problems? And you can find that on other YouTubes. I won't bother you with that right now. So that's 2007. And I spent a couple of years there. And of course, knowing that I wanted to live and work in the same building because I cannot separate my personal from my professional life. That was the beginning. And that's when I was told I was not welcome in this town and I would never bring my business to the historic business district. And really not because of any other reason besides greed and money. So by 2010, I moved on. And that's my old slumlord. Oh, isn't that funny? That would be the name of this guy, you know, on Church Street, right? And I say to him, are you the guy that's going to get all my money? Because I'm going to open my hair shop. Yeah, I am. Okay, great. Now, by 2011, we went through the tornadoes. And of course, that was a very upheaval kind of an energy that took the town. And they were all heartbroken because their trees were gone and different things. And everybody came together and, you know, united for a few minutes. Next thing you know, they're cutting down trees, right? We're always going to remember the tragedies of history. That's how we're programmed to believe. Oh, the Holocaust will never happen again. Hey, wait a second, guys. It's going on right now. See, that's how it works. It's a desensitization to make you have just no thought. And these are the stories that we're all telling right now. You know, 2012, hey, it was the shift. We all know. And my world shifted, but that's another story, and I've told that one. 2013, that's when it gets good. I'm getting mocked because I don't know how to use a computer by the very people that tried to keep me out. And of course, the head gal, you know, she says, well, I didn't think you got on the computer. And I said, that doesn't mean I'm a moron and don't know how to type. That's where we create reality. And so by then, I was full blown. And it all started with the love of a good man named Joe. That's when we both stepped into what we were really meant to do. And we knew Then we had one good fight left in us. And that's bringing truth and changing this tripped out nightmare of a thing that people think of as life. All right. Now, 2014, of course, the phenomena brings me online. And now we're at Mike Brown's story, you know. 2015, I go through more targeting and an eviction, which you can't even do when somebody's paid out. And who in the town would even believe that some people pay double of what others do? But I'll tell you this, it's true. I can show you bank receipts. And hey, I wonder about that new business down at the old hair Emporium spot. Anybody think they're paying $1,000 a month? We'll have to see, won't we? Now, last but not least, 2016 in Journalism Academy. So, I'm blessed with the tools, and I'm learning. And I say, hey, y'all, I got a new career. I'm a journalist. They still say, no, you're just a hairdresser and you're breaking the law. Isn't that funny? You know, somebody thinks they can keep a good woman down. And it's not going to happen. Promise. Because you know why? If I can't make it, who the hell can? And that's the reason I think I was recruited. All right. So, I'm blessed to be what they know as an entrepreneur. And anything, guys, you're called a multipreneur. So, welcome to the world of small business. And our forefathers did it, and we can do it too. Oh, what a show, huh? I'll tell you this. It would seem like a dream to me if I wasn't so aware of the whole timeline of events. And I really do appreciate the ability to be able to witness to these things as they occur. So, thanks a lot for being here. And thank you, everyone, for doing whatever you can to step forward and to speak the truth and to stay safe.
Right.
And find ways to beat this system. So with that, I'm unplugging for today. Oh, wait, we have one huge announcement. June 4th on Sophia's Emporium. My guest is going to be no other than the brilliant Randy Mullins.
That's right.
That's my big news too. And with that, peace, love, and light from the Big Yellow House on the third cosmic ray, St. Louis, Missouri, in Sue's World. Peace out.
All right. Stop share. And then we just need to stop the video. And meeting. It's been a while.